Yet another Triple Crown failure here at the Belmont Stakes as California Chrome runs fourth. A dead heat for fourth. Tonalist takes the 146 running the Belmont Stakes. Let's get right to it and talk about why Chrome was unable to pull it off. Jeannine, I'll start with you, and I'll refer to what Alberto Delgado, the original rider of California Chrome, said to you not long ago.
Yeah, before the Preakness, Alberto Delgado, who was replaced by Victor Espinosa, told me that when he rode California Chrome in those 4 races, he said if he gets down inside and if he's getting dirt in his face, he does not like it. And that's exactly what happened today. You saw going into that first turn and early down the backstretch, he was getting a lot of dirt. He started climbing and fighting his rider. And then, Victor Espinosa, you heard him on the air saying he was flat down the lane. When he asked him, he had no kick.
Yeah, he was sitting in that pocket. He was taking on dirt in the face.
Yep.
Previous to this, in both the Derby and the Preakness, Hank, we talked about it all morning long. He had clean trips. He had perfect trips. This didn't set up the same way. Give people, if a guy on the street walks up to you and says, why didn't he win, Hank? What's the answer?
Well, early in the race, medal count came up inside of him, and then eventually he got outside and made his usual move towards the top of the stretch. And he was 5 wide on the turn. He wasn't, I thought he lost ground at the top of the lane, but then he pulled up alongside the other horses, and he looked like he had a chance to win the race, and he just was outrun very simply, in the final strides, and wound up fourth, and didn't have enough for the final strides.
By a good-looking colt who's blossoming at the right time. Tonal is just his 5th race, already his 3rd win with the fresh legs.
I would also point out that the horses from the Peter Pan ran 1-2 again.
Right here on Belmont track. That was a
yep.
prep race here at Belmont on a sloppy track, and Tonalist comes back on top of Commissioner, who looked very strong in that stretch duel as well. I want to also discuss with you the composure of California Chrome and his disposition. You and I went to the paddock before the Belmont Stakes to watch how he was dealt with, how he was acquitting himself. We also noticed how good Tonalist looked as well. But prior to the race, Chrome was very relaxed. Post-parade, very relaxed. In the gate, not doing his typical rocking and rolling of getting ready to fire off. Was he too relaxed?
Well, to me, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting him to be a little bit more on edge because we've seen that from him in the mornings, being more aggressive. But he was very, very quiet in the paddock, and they purposely saddled him in an area where he would be away from all the other horses. They were trying to manage and keep him quiet. But in the post-parade, quieter than usual, in my opinion. And in the starting gate, definitely not the usual behavior that we see from Chrome when he is antsy and jumping and ready to go. He stood there perfectly as you would want a horse to do, but it was uncharacteristic behavior for him.
And another reminder, Hank, as to why this is, as we talk about, the rarest of American sports championships to conquer. Time and time again, the 3 of us have been here either as railbirds and fans or covering it on air, and it reminds you again.
Well, with it all, he was in position to win the race in mid-stretch, and he just came up short. Perhaps he was a little tired.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The grind of 3 tough races in a span of 5 weeks compared to those with fresher legs. Which brings up the reaction of Steve Coburn, the co-owner of California Chrome, and this is going to be much to talk about. On the national television coverage after the race, he came across, no other way to say it, as a sore loser, saying it's a coward's way out to have fresh horses, new shooters entering the Triple Crown races to go up against you. It's preposterous to think when that's the whole point. It's the toughest thing to accomplish, Jeannine.
That's why we've only seen 12 Triple Crown winners, and we can't all of a sudden just change the rules midstream. And, when Smarty Jones got beat, and Smarty Jones took a lot of pressure and a lot of heat early in the race, there were new shooters in there that were going after him, as Steve Coburn said. His owners didn't complain about changing the rules and not putting new shooters in the Belmont Stakes, and only the same 20 horses from the Derby can run in it. So I was a little bit disappointed in the comments from Steve Coburn. I know it's a very emotional moment. I know this was a tough thing to see, but it was a little bit disappointing to hear that.